In this video we will be looking at this weird t-shirt that has some extremely cool technology up its sleeve, like literally up its sleeve, and the brand Armed Angels behind it, which shows fast fashion brands how the sausage should be made. Welcome to Brand Review, where I take a look at interesting brands because I'm a brand designer and I love this kind of stuff. This is not a product review, I didn't get this t-shirt for free, the video chapters are just below, you should totally subscribe to the channel, and my neck is super red for some unexplainable reason. Just stop looking at it. Stop staring at it. Okay, let's do this. Confession time. I'm a big fan of Armed Angels clothes, but even more so what they're doing business-wise. So straight up, they get 5 out of 5 bags of recycled cotton from me as a brand. I own several items from them, including this shirt, and surely I will be buying again when I need more clothes. So you know, this is a pretty biased video about them. Biased it is for a very good reason though. Armed Angels is an eco and fair fashion label based out of Cologne, Germany. Their mission and vision are pretty straightforward and they shout it from all over the place. They describe their garments as timeless pieces that are not following trends while still being contemporary and long-lasting. And they are the real deal of sustainability and ethical production of clothing, trying to fix a completely broken industry, unlike a brand such as Arket, that is talking a lot about similar values and issues in their communication, but it is owned by H&M, which is, well, you know. From what I can see, AA is aiming at the slow fashion enthusiasts and low-cost customers who care about where their clothes are coming from, who makes them, and what impact that means for the planet. This segment knows already that ethical clothing doesn't automatically mean something that your hippie auntie would wear at the farmer's market on Sunday. Instead, they are looking for the long-lasting trend-free pieces and the well-made basics that AA can offer to them. There are a lot of brands aiming at this growing ethical market. Unrecorded, Veja, 2/3, Kyuchi, Nudie Jeans, Brava, Saya, and the list goes on. There are a lot of options out there for this segment. While all the models on the AA site look super cool and the type of people that you would find at your local sustainable coffee roastery, I can't help to feel that something is still missing. As I talked about this topic in my extremely viral toothpaste video, while most of these brands have a wide variety of people showing off the clothes, I feel that we have to call out some of these labels for ignoring the typical masculine men in their communication and branding efforts. I'm thinking about leaving out these type of men. I understand that the market is saturated with traditional clothing brands that are already catering to that segment, but if these ethical brands are not willing to break the mold, then those poor masculine men might get scared of the idea of ethical fashion and think of only hippies and kimchi-eating vegans are the ones that wear them. For the customers, it's all about relatability, and one of these masculine men might think, can I see myself as your regular 1990s muscle man wearing AA clothes or not? Showing this segment wearing sustainable ethical clothing is not just beneficial for the brand, but it's also good for the planet. Now, after giving this slightly backhanded compliment, I must say that I honestly feel that Armed Angels have one of the best representations of different people in their photography, which I think is super important. A good example to this is their boxer short photos, which is obviously showcased by a dude, but it is also modeled by someone who wears a bra in combination with the underwear piece. It is nice to see that Armed Angels goes out of their way to show this in their store. Should I pull out the cliche that German design possesses a good balance between tradition and the future? Armed Angels visuals hit a great balance between form and function. Small details like these fun hand-drawn annotations used to highlight things being placed in a fairly typical layout create excellent playful contrast for the viewer. I especially love their font pairing and how it is used throughout their communication and their different channels. As much as their clothes, their designs are very contemporary but still feels timeless. So yeah, I guess the design cliché does describe the visuals quite well. And when your design/creative team can make a 44-page long action report look this awesome, then you know that they got this figured out. Hats off to them. The only thing I don't love is the logo mark, the capital A. Maybe it's because I live in Denmark and that letter is one of those unpronounceable letters of the Danish alphabet that haunts me on the daily, but it is a bit meaningless to me. I know that a logo doesn't always have to carry a huge meaning or whatever, and I do like their typed out logo, but the logo mark itself doesn't blend in so well for me visually. And yes, I know I just praised their font pairing 12 seconds ago, yet here we are. Anywho, this is a subjective opinion that you don't have to listen to. So what separates them from other eco-ethical fashion brands? For one, they welcome their competitors with an open arm. The time when eco and ethical clothes meant tie-dye t-shirts made by a hippie grandma raised on Jefferson's airplane is long gone. A lot of these contemporary eco brands rely heavily not just on newly developed and recycled materials, but also on tech to achieve their ethics in practice. That sounds great. But how does AA stand out from the pack? Well, they are not just utilizing technical advancements to get ahead, they also bring this tech right into the customer's hands and make it super tangible for them. Enter this €40 simple logo t-shirt. Depending on your budget, you might think that this is expensive or fairly priced. But there's something super cool hidden in this t-shirt that totally warrants the price for me. And I think it's a perfect example of what separates them from the rest. It shows how far they are willing to push this idea to fulfill their mission. There's a small NFC chip sewn right into the sleeve of this t-shirt that when it is scanned, it shows what the garment is made of. Why this is important, you might ask? Well, Armed & Jolt focuses on circularity, meaning either reselling your old clothes or sending them back for recycling. And that sounds great. But the latter brings a lot of complexities for the recycling plant. But when they scan this chip during their process, they know the exact materials and components of what the shirt is made out of, which makes their recycling super efficient and consistent. This is obviously one of the first steps in the huge overhaul of the fashion industry that AA set out to do so. But I'm actually shocked and totally blown away with how far ahead they are compared to other brands that I looked at. I love what they are doing with this. It's super important. Not to mention that this brand is ridiculously transparent to almost all parts of the business, from financial aspects to their squeaky clean supply chain to owning up to production mistakes of the past. All this information is publicly available to you on this website and on their social media. All you have to do is care enough to read it. As many other disruptive brands out there, their messaging revolves a lot around educating their audience. They do a tremendous job of teaching people about the broken fashion industry, about their own product, and they're inviting us into some of the behind-the-scenes action as well. But I want to highlight something extraordinary that they did during their Black Friday sales back in 2020, or test. It was more of a test than an actual sale, as we later found out. They offered a choice to their customers. Pay full price for the clothes and the brand donates money to save the Ecuadorian rainforest, or you can get your items at 30% off. What would you do if you were given this choice? What do you think their conscious customers chose? Sometime after the sales ended, their CEO came out with an open letter stating the devastating results: 80% of consumers chose a discount instead of saving the future. This statement showed that even within their segment that genuinely cares about the planet, saving money is still the most valuable thing for the majority of them. It takes a lot of guts to do something like this as a brand. Not just risking a big chunk of money by willing to donate it at one of the biggest sale events in the year, but more so holding up a mirror to its own customers and show the results and the consequences of their actions. If I'm being honest, I probably would have picked a discount as well if I was given the choice. And quite possibly, this move has alienated some people away from the brand for feeling shamed or betrayed by them. But reading the results afterwards doesn't actually make me feel that way. Instead, it makes me think and reconsider my actions in the future whenever I'm offered a choice like this again. Generally, this is a section of these reviews when I'm trying to pitch some wild idea to the brands that they didn't ask for. But considering that Armed & Jolt is just knocking it out of the park right now, and this topic is something very close to my heart, I would rather pitch to you, the viewer. Ethical and sustainable fashion is not as cheap as Zara or Uniqlo, for very good reasons. But I hope I managed to hype up Armed & Jolt for you a bit to read up on them. If you're still not convinced or you think it's a little bit pricey, you can have a look at another German brand called Honest Basics, which ticks quite a lot of the same boxes as Armed & Jolt, but at a very different price point. They don't offer the variety of garments as Armed & Jolt do, but it is a great brand to start your ethical fashion journey with if this is something that you're willing to do so. And you really should be willing, because your purchase decisions as a customer really do matter. Thanks for watching the video. There are some good sources down in the description. Go check out Armed & Jolt, they really do deserve your attention. And also, if you're already on the topic of attention, maybe you could subscribe to this channel or just like this video. Or eat a pie or watch a movie or something. I don't know. Thanks for watching, bye. When I am trying to pitch some wild idea to the brands that they didn't ask for. Thanks for watching the video. There are some good sources down in this description.